You're going to be using MCIS to enter information and create your resume and your reference sheet. So how you're going to do that is log into your MCIS account and go to My Portfolio and Resume Creator. In Resume Creator, that kind of gives you an overview of it, and we're going to go through each section. So in each section, it's very important that you go ahead and you add and enter this information. For school, only pick anything grades 9 on up. As far as license and certificates or workshops and training, only enter that if you have something. Standardized tests, I would only put anything in there if, for instance, if you've already taken the ACT and you scored pretty high. You know, an average score in the state of Minnesota in the ACT is a 21, so unless you score a 24 or higher, I don't know that I would even put that on there. Paid and unpaid work, that's important. You want to go ahead and go there, add all your work history. The thing to remember while you're doing all of this is how do you want it, after looking at all those example resumes and everything you know from the previous assignments, how do you want this information to show up on your resume? So like under education and training, one of the things that it asks you for there is your activities. I would not put your activities there, but wait and enter them down here just because it's going to show up a little better. Same thing like paid and unpaid work experience. When you're doing that, make sure that you don't use full sentences or anything like that, because you want it to print out like it's going to on a resume. So you see here under duties, I just did a quick list of different duties that I had. So make sure you're thinking about how you want that to look on your actual resume, or you have to do a lot of edits after you download it. Achievements, activities, this is where make sure in achievements any awards or recognition you've gotten would go there, but any activities you've been in like BPA, Yellow Ribbon, National Honor Society, FFA, any sports teams you've been in, put all those in activities. And again, it's very important to remember that when you do that, that you list things like you would want them to show up on your resume. So no full sentences. Make sure that if it's a bulleted list that you use proper capitalization. You only have to fill in what they have with a red asterisk, so don't feel like you have to fill everything in. Skills, everyone should be listing some skills. A good way to do that is just label it skills and list those underneath. You could also, if it's something separate here like software skills, and then list the programs that you know how to use underneath there. Next will be contact information and references. This is important because this is the information that will print up at the top of your resume and your reference sheet. So make sure that's all accurate for yourself. You probably want to include your cell phone and email address that you're good at checking. And then in references, this is where you want to list the 3 or 4 people and their full contact information that you're going to want to be on your reference sheet. Now, after you have all that entered, or feel like you do, you can see what it's going to look like by creating it. So when you get to the last one, create resume, we're going to go there. I would choose functional. You could do build your own. Let's just do build your own so you can see what I mean. And in the resume, we don't want our references, so I'm just going to say do not include. Everyone should always have a job objective. And for most of you, it's going to be to obtain an entry-level position. And then what? I'm going to say as an administrative assistant in a business office. So if my career objective was business, to major in business management, or anything to do with business, that would be a good job objective. Then we're going to select what sections we want to print up, and you can also tell it in what order. I'm just going to leave it all there so I can show you what it's going to look like. Select output as an RTF so it comes as a Word, and then I'm going to choose download. When it does, it'll download down here, and I can open it up in Word, enable editing, and you can see this is what it's going to look like without any modifications. Now, after you do this the first time, you're probably going to want to go back in and maybe change some of your wording or add some wording. You can also make updates and changes right on this document. And everyone should absolutely do some changing with the font and the layout so that everyone's doesn't look exactly the same. If I get a bunch of applications and I'm looking through them, if I have a lot of them look exactly the same, I'm not going to pay as much attention to that, and you might not get an interview. Now, how you're going to do then your reference sheet one is we're going to go back to the Create Resume link. And this time instead, we're going to choose the List References and Next. And then we're going to uncheck all the boxes except the References box. And download. And now I'm going to have my reference sheet. And again, you want to make this one look formatted the same as your resume, so make some changes. And really important with resume and reference sheet is you want them to look really balanced and eye-appealing. Now this isn't very balanced or eye-appealing. Just a couple of quick things I could do to make it look more eye-appealing. So I could highlight all this, move it in a little more. I could also come here, space this out a little more so that my page is more balanced. All right, but again, make sure you spend some time doing that formatting so that yours looks a little unique. Remember all those examples you looked at and the things you liked as you complete this assignment.